Hi friends, Simit here from InformedTrades.com. Today is January 16th, 2014. Time for our daily Forex chart and trade review. This is basically the process I go through every day as a trader, sharing with you my take on the Forex market, on the 20-some pairs I'm looking at, as well as the trades I'm placing. Okay, so let's get started. First thing I like to do is recap sort of the positions I have on. Now, I don't have any orders that are actually in the market. I don't have any trades on in the market at the moment. However, I do have, and I mentioned this in the past couple videos, 4 entry orders that are still pending. So they haven't gotten filled, and I'm not sure if they will get filled. Looks like some of them are a little far away, so it looks like none of these 4 orders will get filled. But it's still something I want to keep in mind when I'm placing, if I place any additional orders on, because I don't want too much risk exposure. Okay, so here we go. Euro US dollar. Now I'd mentioned this, start with this. Euro US dollar is what you see on the screen now. I mentioned this in yesterday's analysis as a pair that I thought was getting ready to be ready for an entry opportunity. We had this big red candle yesterday. I wanted to see some consolidation, some small candles around this price level that I thought might be a good time to buy. And I think now is it. Let me just take a look at the 4-hour chart, see what that looks like. And okay, so here we go. Let's see if this is this candle right here is the low. I think that would be, you know, that would be nice from the trading perspective that I plan to be at. Okay, so basically I will put, I'm going to move this line, this top black line that I'm moving now is going to be the entry order, and I'm going to put that right there. The stop will be right here, let's say. Yes, the stop will be right there. So the stop is about 70 pips away, and we will target an upside of right around here. So let's make this one red, and let's make this green. And the stop is about 300 pips away. So we're dealing with an over 4-to-1 reward risk here, risking 70 to get about 300. So it's a little more than 4-to-1, 4.4. So yeah, I think this is the setup that I would like. You know, I'm a little stop loss placement's always a you could go further out, but I think this is a good level for now. Really, what is the expectation is that this level here is going to hold, and part of me wants to put another entry order in case we buy here, but we'll see. I'll hold off on that for now. So this is our Euro US dollar will be an order I'm placing, and as I mentioned, I'm going to keep an eye on the other 4 entry orders that I have on at the moment. So we'll see how they fare. And we'll get to some of those entry orders in this video. Okay. So that's Euro US dollar. Let's go back to the top of the list, Euro Australian dollar. Right. Not getting the pullback, still need that. Like I mentioned, you know, we did have a pullback here, but it just touched it and went off. I really like this type of pullback more, where there's a few candles in the tight range. That's what I look. We have a video on bullish and bearish checkmates. That may be something that folks are interested in. Euro CAD. Okay. So here is the same thing. Need that pullback. Canadian dollar has lost a lot of value over the past week. It's starting to solidify and find its resistance on some pairs, but not on others, as we'll see. Euro Canada is one of those pairs. In either event, I'm going to need a pullback before I can consider doing anything. I still want to follow the trend and not really trade against the trend. The trend here is clearly upwards, so I'm looking for a dip to buy. Okay, now Euro Swiss. I'm going to stop looking at that because it's always choppy based on how the pair is. Euro Pound. I do have an entry order on at the moment. And you can see it's at that black line. Hasn't gotten filled. The order is to short, and so this is a little contradictory to the euro dollar position that I'll be putting on. In euro dollar, I'm looking to go long. In euro pound, I am looking to go short. That's okay. I don't necessarily mind that, but it is something that I want to make sure I'm at least aware that I'm doing. Um, Euro US dollar. Let's take one more look at that. Euro pound, that entry order is still on, so maybe it'll get filled, but we'll see. And here, I still feel comfortable. One thing I wanted to check was that is this really in an uptrend? And I think the evidence is fairly sufficient. We have this trend line here, the dotted red line. We have the 50 moving average above the 200 exponential moving average, and prices sort of falling back to that level. So I think there's enough evidence that a bull trend is in place, or the trend is upwards. Let's zoom out a little bit. Right. Okay. So I think this is clearly in an uptrend. Um, and in fact, I'm just going to, now that we're looking at euro dollar again, draw this trend line from here and see what that tells us. So we could go there. That's one. Let's try it again though. Let's see if we go from here. Oh, okay. So that's another trend line, and it'll be interesting to see if we fall to this one. Let's make them different colors. Purple. We'll keep that as red. Make this green. Okay, so the red trend line here, it's interesting if we fall to that one. That could be where I make a mistake in this trade. Maybe it's going to fall to the red trend line um, rather than respect the purple one. But we'll see. As we saw in the candlesticks, there was some. I mean, that may have just been a momentary bounce. But we'll see if these candles continue to be, if this level here continues to be respected. So anyway, just want to take a look at that. But like I mentioned, the short, so there is that long Euro US dollar order that I'll be placing. There is also a short Euro pound order that I have on. Let's take a look at Euro New Zealand. Oh, I skipped Euro Yen. We'll go back to that. Euro New Zealand, we mentioned this before. Let's zoom in a little bit. I'm just finding it a little choppy. Let's go to the weekly chart. So, maybe it's in a bull trend. I got stopped out on my long Euro Kiwi trend trade that I placed last week. So, this may be. Well, we do have a nice reversal sign here. Oh, that was what I thought up here, and then we have this big red candle. I think I'm just going to hold off on this pair for now. Like I mentioned yesterday. Let's see if it can break out of this box here. Or if it can fall to the bottom of the range. I think I'd be interested if it can fall here. But other than that, I'm just finding this pair a little confusing, and I don't want to be too impacted by my recent loss on this trade. But okay. Oh, and we fell. So we did fall to the support level here. So that's interesting. Well, maybe I should have tried. I might actually. um, there is an element of subjectivity in this, so that's part of identifying support and resistance and what's significant. I may go back to Euro New Zealand. I may take a long order here. We'll come back to this pair at the end of this session. But for now, that is interesting. Euro Yen. This is the same thing. Need a much bigger pullback. Okay, that does it for the euro pairs. And we talked about euro yen and the situation with the yen on a number of pairs. We've been talking about that in the videos we've been going through daily. Let's switch to the pound Australian dollar. Yep, same as the euro Australian dollar. We had that pullback, that brief pullback, but we didn't form a range. It was just one quick touch and then off. So I never really got a chance to pull an entry order. And also, I do like to see a little bit of a range form. Eventually, a range will form. The market will take a bit of a breather, and that's when I want to be entering. Okay, pound Canada. This is stalling, just like Euro Canada might be. We might get the trading range here. We've had a big run up. Looks like it might be the onset of a trading range and a potential short opportunity. However, I'm more interested. I don't want to trade against the trend. The trend is clearly up here. So I want to wait for it to bottom and then pull back. Maybe at some point I'll add a counter trend trading element to my trading, but not at this point. The next thing I'll be adding is trading ranges, especially on crosses. Pound Swiss. That's the the level I'm looking at. Let's see if it can fall. Still need to go about 100 pips, and then that could be a potential long opportunity there. Let's just add Fibonacci here from this swing low down here all the way to this swing high. So if we fell to the support level, it wouldn't be at the 50% Fibonacci level. That's something to consider. So I might want a bit more of a pullback. However, we are at the 50 simple moving average here. So well, anyway, let's see if price can get to this level. If we can get candlesticks to confirm, I think it'll be a potentially interesting opportunity. But nothing at this time. Pound yen. Probably gonna need more of a pullback here. Yeah. So we're getting closer. We're closer on pound yen than we were on euro yen. And it's nice to see the 50 simple moving average coincide with this black line. And it gives us a little more confluence. Multiple factors at the same level, always a good sign. But not just yet. So still need some more waiting. Pound QE. Okay, here we are also in this range, and this is my potential range with that I identified also a corresponding thing on Euro QE. And this bounced off the 200. Let's see if there's no. We go here. Okay, price sort of fell. Let's see. I mean, price is at a support level. That's not the best of support level. We only had one quick touch there. Euro Kiwi is a much better chart. I think I'm going to place that Euro Kiwi trade. In any event, let's change this to black. I think I am going to place that Euro Kiwi trade. I think I was holding on to losses. I need to sort of, learn any lessons, but not be fearful, not get attached to that loss. But pound Kiwi didn't really get, multiple candles, and it just fell back. Euro Kiwi, I may have been too slow. The move, maybe I should have placed that order yesterday, but I was a little concerned. But in any event, pound Kiwi I don't think is a good opportunity at the moment. Pound dollar. Okay, so we are getting closer. Maybe if we fall to this level, I think it'll be a really interesting opportunity on pound dollar, similar to euro dollar. The euro dollar seems to be a little more moving a little faster. Euro dollar seems to be ready now. Okay. And I think that does it for the pound. Let's go to the US dollar. Dollar Canada. Yeah. So finally, dollar Canada is, well, at least we've seen this on Euro dollar or Euro Canada, Pound Canada, where it is showing signs after this enormous run up of stalling a little bit. Canadian dollar finally finding its floor after giving up a lot of value. This is a really interesting reversal setup. We have this type of candle. I think it's called a shooting star. I forget the exact name, but you have a long wick basically. Long wicks always of interest. And that suggests maybe potential exhaustion at this level. But like I mentioned, I want to be trading with the trend on the daily chart. The trend here is clearly upwards, so maybe if it falls here, I'm more interested in buying there. Counter trend traders, though, probably having a field day with what they're seeing on the Canadian dollar. Dollar Swiss. Okay. Dollar Swiss. Yeah, no real. This isn't a bear trend. I don't really like to look at dollar Swiss. The same thing as euro dollar. And for whatever reason, I just don't like the technical patterns that emerge on the Swiss franc generally, especially against euro Swiss and dollar Swiss. And there's usually other reasons to not look at them or not trade them. So dollar Swiss is the same thing as euro dollar. It's the inverse, so you'd be looking to short. And actually, in this scenario, contradicting myself here, but oh, how did that happen? I may be interested in shorting at this level. In fact, I think that's what I do. Instead of the so I just totally contradict myself. Instead of the euro dollar trade that I mentioned initially, I think I'll be shorting dollar Swiss. In this is one instance where I think the technicals are much more favorable, much more to my liking, my style. I just realized it. Euro dollar, I'm feeling like I missed the move, and that I should have entered yesterday. But I think I can put my stop right there. That's about 50 pips away. I'm a little concerned about that stop. I feel like you could draw a support level there as well. But the basic expectation is that this low is going to hold and this low is going to hold. So what we're really trading is my viewpoint is you got to know when you're wrong. I'm expecting this to hold, so if price goes past this level, I'm wrong. And from that perspective, I could even have a tighter stop. However, I like to give myself a little margin of error, account for a potential fake spike. So I don't mind risking 50 pips, especially when I'm going to be targeting. We could easily target here as a potential resistance level. Make that line green. And that is, so we're risking 50 pips. We will be getting 270. So this is over 5-to-1 reward risk. A little more than 270. So over 5-to-1 reward risk, 5.5-to-1. Really nice setup. So scratch the long euro dollar and crossing that off, and we'll change that to short dollar Swiss. And we will also, the long euro Kiwi is something I'll also be looking at. So those are two trades we've identified so far. Dollar yen. Still waiting. We're waiting on all the yen, and I'm in that camp that expects the yen to lose a lot of value. I can see dollar yen ultimately going to 150. John Malden, or Kyle Bassett will go to 360. I see where they're coming from. The Japanese economy is, perhaps the most problematic of any major economy. I think the yen is in a lot of trouble, and it's definitely a trade. We've talked about this a lot on Informed Trades. If you go to InformedTrades.com/Japan, you'll see our report. It has a lot of information on this. However, I don't think it's opportunity yet, at least to short the yen. I really want to do that situation technically, um, but not at this point. I want to see a little more of a pullback. Some people with the yen, in light of the way it is, some people, if you really want to focus on that huge trend taking it all the way to 360 or wherever it may go, it may be worth looking at the monthly chart. And we'll do that at some point in another video. I'll take a longer term look at the yen. Okay. So now dollar Singapore. Okay, this looks like it might be getting ready to reverse. However, where should it pull back to? I would say maybe here. That's one first support level that jumps out. And in terms of identifying support levels, I think that's just where a lot of practice, putting in your time, looking at charts, can really help. There's also Fibonacci we can draw from here to there. And yeah, so the Fibonacci is a 50% Fibonacci from this swing low to this high. Only brings us, lower here. Now we could draw Fibonacci from this low here, and then if we get a 61.8% pullback, that gives us confluence with this black support level. So that might be something interesting and worth trading. But let's see if dollar Singapore pulls back at all first. The momentum, especially since the 50 has crossed above the 200 EMA here, the momentum is definitely, or the trend is clearly bullish. Okay, so that does it for the dollar. Now let's go to the Canadian dollar. Canada Swiss, only two pairs here, Canada Swiss and Canada Yen. Canada Swiss, just need that pullback, right? Common sentiment for a swing trader like myself. Need to see that pullback, and really that's the level. Respected here as support, respected here as resistance. So it's pretty established. Let's see if the Canada Swiss can pull back to that level in the context of its downtrend. Canada Yen. Okay. This is also another situation where the trend is a little choppy. And I'm interested in these types of, when I've drawn the box, I'm interested in buying at the bottom of the range or selling at the top of the range and making a range-bound trade like that. Canada Yen still isn't really at the bottom of the box, as you can see. So nothing to do at this time. I definitely, when it's in the middle range like that, and I know it's a pretty big range, but when it's in the middle like that, I'd rather just wait. Or I'd also rather wait for a breakout of the box altogether, and then we may have a clear trend that I'm comfortable looking at. Okay, so that does it for Canada. Let's look at Australian dollar. Okay, and this is, man, this would have been a great trade. But basically, I had my order to, after I saw this candle, I had the order to go short. But I had the order placed up here. It did not get filled. The market just left, and it really would have been a nice trade. But that's often the way it is. So I think the lesson is, or something to consider is, did I place, even then, I mean, I liked the way I placed the entry order. It coincided with this level. I think it made a lot of sense. But you don't always have the pullback, so nothing you can do. Aussie Swiss. Okay, I still have this entry order on. It's not getting filled. Yeah, this is so last week, if you've been following these videos, I had identified that this week would be a great week to short the Australian dollar, and that's happened. Unfortunately, I just didn't get filled. So, I saw these reversal candlesticks. We really did not get much of a range at all. So as soon as it had one reversal candlestick, and then boom, reversed right away. So in these types of scenarios, I mean, one thing I used to do, and that would have worked well in this, is that when I enter, I put on a market order, and then half on I enter at a market order, and half I know entry order for the pullback. In my experience, so in this, what we've seen this week, that would have worked really well. But in general, in my experience, is that it's better to wait for the pullback and really get the entry you're looking for. That's why I switched this style, and I still stick to that, abide by that. It also, I get to risk less. I don't always like to put on two positions for the same currency pair. But excuse me, that's the basic idea. It would have worked well if I used market orders here, but I don't. I'm sticking to my plan, and I like that element of my plan. Aussie yen, we're still in that range, and I could draw that box here as well. In fact, I will. Done it before. There we go. So we're still in that range. If we can reach the bottom, we're getting a little closer. It might be an interesting opportunity to buy. Buy the bottom, go for the top. Maybe another range is actually a little safer. Is here. You could argue that's the truer range, and that this breakout here was a bit of an anomaly. But in any event, let's see if we can fall all the way back to the bottom of the range, or go out of the box altogether. Okay. So Aussie Kiwi. Yeah. That needs a pullback. We need that pullback to that black bar or black level. Otherwise, it's moving. Australian dollar continues to fall. It's falling across the board here, basically. So I correctly identified it. Unfortunately, I didn't get in on the trade, but oh well. Take some consolation. I guess the analysis is correct. So now I just need to get the entry order going in my favor. Okay, Aussie US dollar, same deal here. Basically, it's declining. We're in that bear trend. I want to see a pullback to around here. There is a potential opportunity to go long, or there was, to see if the market just fell right through the support. Some counter trend traders may have been interested in that. We have a support level respected here. It shows signs of being respected, but then boom, we fell right through it on the current candle. So I would say in terms of, if we're looking to short, the first level would be right there. Let's see if the market can pull back to that level. I didn't go long here. That's a counter trend, and I'm not I'm still looking to go short. It's clearly in a downtrend. 50 moving average below the 200 EMA, and prices below both of them, clearly going down. Okay, that's about it for the Australian dollar. Let's do the New Zealand dollar. New Zealand, Canada. Yep. Okay, finally. This was the New Zealand, Canada was the last holdout. We had an enormous run up. Would have been great to have been in on this trade. That's about almost 500 pips in a week. That's fantastic if you got the whole thing. However, it looks like it's stalling now, and often, if it goes up that quickly, it can come down just as quickly as well. So that's where really a great opportunity here. I don't like to trade against the trend though, so like I mentioned that repeatedly. So I'll be passing on this, but definitely I see the logic for those who are short those pairs. Kiwi Swiss. Excuse me. Here, not much. It's still a little choppy in my opinion. We may be going down, but price is above the moving averages, so I don't know. I'm still finding it a little choppy and not as clear of a trend as I would like. A little range bound. You could even draw a box here. Right, something like this. Okay, so I'm going to pass on that. Euro New Zealand, which is similar to this, is something I think is a little clearer. Kiwi Yen. Yep, still need a little more pullback. Getting closer. I don't think if it pulls back to this level, it'll be enough, but I just want to keep it on there, something to evaluate. And Kiwi dollar. Okay, so here we're looking for, if it pulls back to, yeah, it's got to pull back to this level here. What's that? 81.81. Then it might be an interesting buying opportunity. We're also in a bit of a range here, right? You can see, I'll draw it, draw the box. Oh, what happened? Okay, draw that. Yeah, so we can fall to the bottom of this range here, this black line. That might be an interesting opportunity to go long. If we can go to the top, it could be an interesting opportunity to short as well. And we were at the top a couple of days ago. And that was another example, though, where we stay there very long. There weren't any entry orders, or even if I had an entry order after this candle, it probably wouldn't have gotten filled. However, we may be, let's see if it falls down here and what it looks like. Okay, so that's about it. The two trades that I'll be placing today. Well, let's go back to Euro New Zealand just to make sure that I'm going to place that trade. Okay, so here, let me just lighten that range a little bit because I'm not. Oh, what happens here? There we go. Okay, just make that a little lighter. Okay. So this is a range. However, I think there's still a potential entry order here to go long. Let's make that line black. And I still would want to go long at the bottom of this range. So I will add my stop a little between that. Put my stop right there. And make that red. And now we would target up here at least. Right? Make that green. Okay, so I think that's the reward risk setup right there. That is going to be risking about 100 pips to get about 600. So it's a nice 6-1 reward setup. These cross pairs can definitely move a lot. So we'll see if it gets filled, though. Part of me thinks I definitely need to place that order yesterday. It's not going to get filled now. That's been the story of this week for me, not getting orders filled. But there's the setup. We'll see what happens. Definitely going to place it. So that's one order I'll be placing. And the other one is short dollar Swiss. Let's take a look at that. And here we are. Okay. So short dollar Swiss. Enter at this black line. Stop here. Reward a risk of about 5.5 to 1. So both these setups are nice. They offer a really favorable reward risk, which is what I'm all about. And so I'll be placing these trades. That's about it for our morning wrap up, our session here. Any questions you have, anything you want to add, join us at InformedTrades.com. Thanks and best of luck in your trading.